G'day, welcome to the Chicken Channel. Now we got around the table and discussed what recipes to do, and we thought we'd do a poached chicken breast. Not only is the actual chicken breast poached, but the actual recipe's poached, right? I've stolen it from Abla, a doyenne of Lebanese cooking in Melbourne. She's absolutely brilliant. You must go to her restaurant. It's in Elgin Street, wonderful Lebanese cooking. So this has been inspired by her. Abla, don't sue, okay? It's a wonderful recipe. The chicken breast we're poaching, right? We've got a double breast, and this double breast is on the bone with the skin on. Now the reason it's like that, it retains the shape of the actual meat underneath, right? So if you just did two single breasts without skin or bone, it tends to contract a bit. So on the bone, skin on. Straight into a pot of simmering water, along with one onion that's been diced, about a teaspoon of black peppercorns, and we will be using this liquid. I'm putting in a pinch of salt. Even though it's a stock, and you tend not to salt stocks heavily, in this case we do. In fact, I use a little bit of salt in stocks. Basically, bring this up to the simmer. Don't boil it heavily, bring it up to the simmer. And when it comes to the simmer, you turn the heat down to very low and simmer it for 10 minutes. Then take it off the heat after 10 minutes, put the lid on and leave it to come to room temperature, right? That last remaining time in the heat causes the chicken to cook perfectly, and we've done some earlier. So here it is, and well chilled down completely. Use your hands, here we go. You can see now that what we have is chicken breast. We don't need the skin in this recipe. It was there just to hold the chicken together. So that's removed. And what we have are the chicken breasts, which I'm going to shred. Now see how that shreds? That's the look we're after. Right? That wonderful shredding thing. So I'll bring it across here to this plate because I'll make a pile of it. Just shred it nice and thinly. Now how you shred it is rather important, because if it's too thick, it won't suit the recipe at the end. You'll see. So nice and thin, long strands, and away we go. Exactly like that. Good. With clean hands, my German friend, what we're going to do is now pour off 3 cups of stock. Right. So we need this, and always spill some on the bench. Very important, because nothing cleans a bench like chicken stock. There we go, 3 cups. And by the way, the fat, it's got some flavour. A lot of people throw the fat out. Clearly I don't, okay? The fat's got lots of flavour. Try and put a little bit in there. Who cares? It's got to taste good. Flavour first. Now the other important part of this dish is the rice, right? The rice filling. It'll all become clear in a minute, but there's a rice filling to this dish. I've taken a pot that we're going to cook 2 cups of rice in. So find the pot that fits for 2 cups of rice, about that size. A generous slug of extra virgin olive oil, a couple of tablespoons is fine. 1 small to medium onion into that, and also with a pinch of salt. Right? I know a lot of people are trying to cut down on their salt, but salt really improves flavour. If you want to cut down on salt, stop eating packet chips and all those confectionaries. Put it in your real cooking. Now what we're going to do here is gently cook this onion in the pot, in the olive oil, until the onions become translucent. It takes about a minute or 2. Next step, take 500 grams of lamb mince and drop it straight in on top of the onions and break that up. Keep cooking that until it just becomes completely cooked through. You see the colour change there. Next step, 2 cups of white rice, small grain white rice. Stir that all the way through until the rice is coated with the oil and the lamb is evenly distributed. Add to that 1.5 teaspoons of powdered cinnamon, 2 tablespoons of currants and a pinch of black pepper. Stir that through, and finally our 3 cups of stock, which we reserved. Bring that back into the pot, bring it up to temperature, get it to the simmer, and then turn that right down to very, very low. Lid on, 12 minutes, that's ready. Just waiting for that to come up to temperature, Got to make the point, I can really smell that cinnamon. That cinnamon is freshly ground, okay? Which basically means it's going to give its character to the dish. 1.5 teaspoons. Now, if your cinnamon's not good, it's the only spice in here and the whole dish won't work. So make sure you've got good quality spices. Now, it's just come to the boil. You can see that. So, now's when we put the lid on and turn the temperature right down. 12, 14 minutes, that should be perfectly cooked. We have all of our elements just about together, but have a look at this. What I've done is I've lined a presentation bowl with some plastic, okay? And you can see what I've done. I've already started putting our chicken shreds in against the plastic. So that's easy to turn out. You can guess what I'm up to, can't you? We're making some sort of a mold and in with the chicken, which is lining the outside. Nice and moist. I tell you, that's the best way to poach chicken breast because you let the residual heat in the water transfer across. See, high temperature causes the chicken flesh to really tighten. Lower temperature just cooks without being tight. So that's an important thing to consider. Now, obviously try and line it up so it follows the lines of the bowl. It just looks better with the presentation. And I did this one earlier. It's not quite as good as this one. You know, this one's far more skill. So take your time, try and match them. And there we go. Final one done. Ready for our rice. Now the rice is cooked. Always with rice, good idea to switch off the heat and leave it for about 10 minutes to let the final absorption happen. And I like to tip it out into something a little bit more spacious because otherwise working in this tight pot, you can crush all the grains. We don't want that. Taste the rice and then season it, right? So I've tasted a little bit earlier, cheated, and I need a bit more salt there and a little bit of pepper. Always taste, good thing to do. By the way, there's enough rice there for Africa, right? We've got more than enough, but if you try and cook a small quantity, it doesn't work. So that is great on its own. Heat that up, have it with a salad, a bit of yogurt, brilliant. But in this dish, let's start filling. Take spoonfuls and gently pack it in. Now you have to fill all the crevices, but don't squash the rice too much. So in we go. I have to tell you, this combination of lamb and rice and chicken with the cinnamon is absolutely brilliant. Abla, you're a genius. Good, that's it. When we did the mould, we left enough plastic so that we could then come across and press it in. Again, the reason I'm showing you this particular dish is because I'm impressed with Abla. Fabulous person, tremendous chef, great restaurant, etc. But if you were to simplify this at home, just slice the chicken breast and serve the rice next to it. You could do that. The flavours are just as good. One great little presentation is a little knob of butter, 20 to 30 grams, on some heat. And what we have here, some flaked almonds, right? It makes a great little presentation. Put that in. We'll let that foam away as we turn out our little number here. All right, unwrap the top. Now to heat these, and you should make these in advance, the last thing you should be doing is in a kitchen when you've got guests or family waiting, mucking around with this. Make them the day before if you wish, and you can heat them in the microwave or steam them. Put the plate there like this, flip that over into the middle, and holding the plastic, lift off. There we are. Doesn't that look fantastic? Very nice indeed. Now back to our almonds, sizzling away, and away we go. I think the key points in a simple dish is this. Fresh ingredients. It's definitely with the spices, perfectly cooked chicken, and also with the nuts too. Make sure fresh nuts. The butter too, good quality butter. And as this comes to the foam, it'll start to become golden brown, and great little accompaniment. You will need a salad. I suggest cos salad with some radishes through that. Will be absolutely perfect. And here we go. See the almonds just starting to brown there? You can't do this in advance because the butter will firm up. Just starting to brown. And good, time to move. Look at that. Absolutely sensational. Abla, you're a genius. Try that recipe. You'll absolutely love it. Of course, Bannockburn chicken, nothing but the best.